sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
We are coming back to you live from the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center in the city of San Juan, the home of the MPBL second season champions, to resume your MPBL triple header Friday. And now we have the Muntinlupa Cagers looking to get back-to-back victories after winning versus Marikina in their previous outing. They will take on the debuting Michael Wico for the Pangasinan Heat Waves as he joins JP Maguliano and Nat Cosejo transferring from Nueva Ecija. They're reunited with a couple of their former teammates, Hesed Gabo, Shaq Taganas, Mike Mabulak and company, and of course Coach Gerson Cabiltes as well. It is Pangasinan versus Muntinlupa here in San Juan. Thank you for joining us, folks. This is Mixed Comments at your service alongside Javi Palanya and Andrea Endicio. Now, we talked about this all season long. The realistic expectations for Pangasinan would be to make the playoffs in our campaign. And so as we present the North Division standings to our viewers, Javi, how tall of a mountain to climb is it for Pangasinan?
Definitely right now still out of the playoff picture as they are still at number 11 spot right now, and this is gonna be a big 3-game stretch para sa kanila because after this game they will be facing the defending champions Pampanga Giant Lanterns and then the Pasay Voyagers. Of course, Pampanga, we know their capabilities, we know what they are as a squad led by our reigning MVP Balti Baltazar, and Pasay always very unpredictable. Lawrence Victoria and the rest of the Pasay Voyagers always capable of knocking down giants here in the league, even if the Pangasinan Heat Waves have not proven themselves to be a giant yet here in the league.
Some players might even argue to us that they need to win 11 out of their last 14 games to give themselves a good chance to make the playoffs. And you did mention Pampanga will be the next foe for Pangasinan, the hometown of Michael Wico. So his trade is actually right on time. Now let's talk about the previous game of the Muntinlupa Cagers. This is a team that actually, after starting slow in our campaign, is up to a fairly good record of 5-9. They won versus Marikina.
They were down by 2 against Marikina in that first quarter, but then outscored itong Marikina Shoemasters 21-12 in the second period to be able to get the lead, which they extended to 56-47 heading into the fourth quarter. You see there the free throws, lamang na lamang sila dyan, and a plus 30 in the rebounding department, turning those 18 offensive rebounds into 18 second chance points. So expect Muntinlupa to be the same aggressive team right now, especially against a veteran-laden squad like Pangasinan.
Now, the Heat Waves, on the other end, continued to struggle in the previous outing. They lost at home versus Quezon City in the last game, wherein their usual core would find themselves playing huge minutes before the arrival of the rest of the cavalry.
And they were actually looking good in this game. They led for almost the entire match. It all went down into the end game para dito sa Pangasinan Heat Waves. Free throws by Alan Mina and Hesed Gabo gave them a 74-72 advantage. And then Quezon City's JP Kawila knocking down a shot from the corner. After that, on the ensuing play, it was the turnover by Shaq Taganes that did them in, and so that's why they lost 78-74. Kailangan dito sa laro na to, they should focus on winning every quarter and to make sure that they don't look forward too much in this game.
Let's see if this would be that rejuvenation day for the Pangasinan Heat Waves as we turn you over to Richard Campos.
One guard number 9, Jasper Cuevas. Power forward number 5, Josh Giab. Small forward number 6, McCoy Marcos. The head coach is Mixon Ramos. His assistants are Alex Calweng, Jerry Andalyon, Noel Villapa, and John Cabulong. Head of basketball operations, Vince Harder. The team owners are Kaiser and Grace Galvez, attorney Jemsy and Aya Saicon. Now, starting for Pangasinan Heat Waves. At forward number 5, Vince Tolentino. One guard number 6, Ian Melencio. Also at guard number 10, Ralph Robin. At forward number 24, Damian Lasco. Playing center number 21, JP Maguliano. The head coach is Gerson Cabiltes. His assistants are Noy Catalan, Florian Pineda, Ariel Sison, June Marsan, Harold Nang, Joseph Guion, and June Medina. coaching consultant Steve Chu, team manager.
We have our starting fives brought to you by New Star Max, Win to the Max, Jasper Cuevas, Gabe Capascio, RJ Arenal, Joshua Giab on his last game at Muntinlupa, and Makoy Marcos. As for Pangasinan, it's Ian Milencio with Ralph Robin, JP Maguliano making his debut. Same goes for Damian Lasco, and we have Vince Tolentino rounding up the five for the Heat Waves. The cavalry has arrived for Coach Gerson Cabiltes. Will it be enough? As it is going to be one heck of a mountain to climb in the North Division playoff picture. We have argued that it is a tougher division in the 6th season of the MPBL, but then again, the South Division teams would have something to say about that. And this Muntinlupa squad, even though they started off slow in our campaign, they have given us great signs in their previous stints. Their biggest win so far is against Bataan in terms of records of their foes, and so could this be their biggest day of the season, much like what happened earlier today in that win for Marikina versus Quezon City.
And that's why if you're Pangasinan, you have to work double, maybe even triple time against this Muntinlupa squad, because the Cagers, they don't really have anything to lose, you know. Pangasinan, they're expected to make the playoffs. Muntinlupa coming into this season, I don't think they had lofty expectations for themselves. They knew that they were coming in with a young core. They knew that they didn't have enough talent compared to the other squads. And so the goal for them every game was just to compete. And right now against Pangasinan, I'm very sure that Muntinlupa will try to come out with a great start, especially with the Heat Waves now in a very dire situation of a must-win situation in every game moving forward.
10 to 11 games, that could be the target for them. In the 14 remaining for Coach Gerson Cabildes and company, that's to reach the realistic expectations of getting into the playoffs. Now, our head of statistician, Jory Mangonon, is talking to our coaches. That might actually indicate that there is a conflict in terms of the lineup submitted to us. But referee Jonathan Belnas just asked everybody to return. So it seems like we shall proceed for the second game of your MPBL Friday, following the overtime victory of Marikina versus Quezon City. After this, it's San Juan versus Binyan, and tomorrow we travel to Nueva Ecija in Palayan City for the Battle of Champions, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns versus the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. Jasper Cuevas working with RJ Arenal, who will not be back with JRU anymore. This guy will though, Joshua Giab. And now it's Makoy Marcos driving. Makoy will miss. Offensive rebound, 2 free throws for RJ Arenal.
Well, if you're gonna be winning your games, if you're the Pangasinan Heat Waves, Vince Tolentino, you gotta do a better job of boxing out your opposing team's bigs, because Arenal right there getting the offensive rebound right away on the first possession doesn't indicate anything good for the Heat Waves.
First free throw is good for RJ Arenal, who did not even see the stripe in their previous outing versus Marikina. He only played 8 minutes. 1 out of 2. First possession for Ian Milencio and the rest of the Pangasinan Heat Waves. They're rocking their Phoenix Suns look-alike jerseys. Damian Lasco drive and kick. Maguliano. JP spins. Pass inside. And that's a gimme for Pangasinan.
Well, let's hope that if you're Coach Gerson Cabiltes that you don't suffer the same fate that Phoenix did in last season's NBA, not making the finals, which were the expectations para sa kanila. And for this Pangasinan team right now, every game, as we said, is a must-win situation para sa kanila.
But the Phoenix Suns made the playoffs, which is the goal for the Heat Waves. And might I say, off of that first offensive execution, I know it's too early to say, but it felt like they have better tools, and the lives of Milencio, Robin, and Gabo will now be much easier, as Makoy Marcos just scored inside.
You know, in the many conversations that I've had with Coach Gerson this season, he has always expressed to me the frustration of having new players not understanding his system. He admits na mahirap talaga intindihin yung kanyang sistema. But of course, for a long time, his teams have always been on top. And that's why right now with this new squad, this is a situation that he's not used to being in. So right now, him getting a lot of his old players back makes it easier for him to now implement the things that he wants to do on the court.
JP Maguliano, who's just called for a foul, is one of those players. From EAC to Nueva Ecija to Pangasinan, he's been with Coach Gerson Cabiltes for the longest time. A couple of EAC players as well in Ralph Robin, Nat Cusejo also in the lineup. Damon Lasco actually played for Zamboanga back in the day, which was a rival to the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards in the past couple of years. Gabe Capacio, double pump on that shot, and he made it.
Not really the usual shot that Gabe Capacio will take, but he definitely has been working on that outside shot throughout the years. It's just consistency that hasn't been on point for him.
Was that his natural shooting form?
That is his natural shooting form.
Very interesting.
May pagka-James Shop ng konti yung datingan eh.
Okay, as this three-point shot is brought to you by Extreme One Stop Shop Appliances. May angat, ay bababa niya na onti yung bola. And apparently it's perfect for him. We're back with Makoy Marcos. It's a lifting violation.
Wow, I'm surprised they called that. It should have been a let go right there. Was it really a long carry right there by Makoy Marcos? But referee Jojo Belnes trying to set a precedent here at the start of the game.
Marcos, by the way, struggled in terms of turnovers in their previous outing. He had 7. He did have good numbers overall, 8 points, 7 boards, 6 dimes, and 3 steals, but those 7 turnovers, yeah, that could negate a lot of stuff for you.
Yeah, that almost cost them the game in that match against the Marikina Shoemasters. But the reason for those errors by Makoy Marcos is because Coach Mixon is trying to convert him into a playmaker, and of course that's gonna be an adjustment that will take a while para kay Makoy because he's not used to playing the point guard spot, but it definitely will be beneficial for him moving forward if he gets to learn how to play that point guard spot.
Even his season turnover number is 2.9. That's good for number 6 in the whole of the MPBL. But Gabe Capacio is off to a good start. That's 2 baskets for him.
5 points already in the game para kay Gabe Capacio. That mid-range game now, that is Gabe Capacio's game.
8-2, Pangasinan down by 6. Damien Lasco will pull up. That's good.
Damien Lasco also a great shooter from the mid-range. And if you get him to drive right, expect him to pull up with that left-handed jumper.
Back in Season 4, he was the leading scorer for Caloocan and for the whole of the MPBL for quite a while. Although he lost his minutes when he transferred to Zamboanga as a charge is called on Muntinlupa. And there's Coach Mixon Ramos, ever so busy with his duties for Muntinlupa and Jose Rizal University. Shout out to Coach Louis Gonzalez, by the way, who is in Bangkok right now.
Ay, di ba kayo nag-aabot?
Basically, nag-trade kami. Nung nandito siya, andun ako at nag-trade kami para may matitira dito sa ating liga.
I think that's practically gonna be his honeymoon, right? I don't think he had the chance to go on a honeymoon right after his wedding.
Congratulations once again to the Gonzalez family, Ms. Cherry and Coach Louis. 6 on the shot clock. Makoy Marcos will drive. Makoy is blocked by JP Maguliano.
An excellent upside defense right there by JP Maguliano. These two players very familiar with each other. Marcos had a strong drive to the left, but could have had a better opportunity at making the basket if he tried to finish with the left hand. Unfortunately, he went for the right as Robin hits from the outside. Now, this is a guy who has had a good stretch in the past few games for the Pangasinan Heatwaves.
Some people might argue, wala siyang choice. He was basically the third playmaker for Pangasinan behind Hesed Gabo and Ian Melencio as Josh Kiam scores for Muntinlupa. Now it seems like Robin is back to his normal form and responsibility,
which is to shoot.
Yeah. And he's actually the perfect Robin to Hesed Gabo's Batman, if you think about it.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
Now we have a substitution that is Alfred Flores, who, by the way, can be very deadly for Muntinlupa. He had 5 rebounds, 5 dimes, 2 steals, and 8 points in the previous outing.
This guy excelled in college, played for ICC in the NCRAA, was a back-to-back champion there, playing under Coach Oji Gumatay, even won the MVP. Also played in the ISAA, among the many leagues that ICC plays in. And he was that guy for the Blue Hawks for the longest time.
They defeated Olivares recently, which is good measure. Basically, think about that Parañaque program right now. A lot of Sea Lions under Coach Mike Sagigit. Flores had to be subbed out again. I wonder what that could mean. Is there a violation of uniform protocol?
It must be. We'll check later with our officials.
10-7, Jasper Cuevas back in. Nakapagpahinga naman na siya after that lull. The ball was tapped away by Vince Tolentino, and it will be a sideline inbound for Muntinlupa.
17 seconds.
Gabe Capascio. On to Jasper Cuevas. It's Joshua Giab versus Vince Tolentino. 10 on the shot clock. Giab, Arenal, spinning. Arenal creating space, and he scores.
He does have the height advantage over JP Maguliano, and Arenal very versatile, making that jumper from up close against JP Maguliano.
I want to see more of that from him because, as you mentioned, he has the size, and for him to operate there just by the paint, it could be very useful, especially if he gets to develop post moves.
You know, despite his heft, he's more of a finesse big man than a physical one, if you think about it.
He hasn't forced the issue, but maybe he can try a bit.
Oh, definitely. You know, he has the tools to do so. And playing under Coach Luis Gonzalez in JRU, you definitely have that in your bag, even if you don't do it all the time.
Oh, he almost made it work again. A nice feed to Gia, but a sorry miss for Josh. It's 12-7, under 5 minutes remaining in the first. Ralph Robin, a three-pointer. That's good.
I think Cuevas was in the wrong space to try and challenge the shot. Robin had the opportunity because he is a lefty and the hand was on the right side of Ralph Robin. That's why Robin was still comfortable taking the shot.
There's a foul called. It's on Damian Lasco, and now 3 players are about to check in for Coach Gerson Cabiltes. But before that, let's take a look at that three-pointer by the Robin of Pangasinan. Ralph converts. One more look.
See, check that. The challenge was with the left hand. If you're challenging a left-handed shooter, you got to challenge with the right hand.
Michael Vico checks in for the first time as a member of the Heat Waves. And now let's check in with Andrea Indicio.
Among all of the additions of the Pangasinan Heat Waves, merong isa na tumatak sa akin ng mga sinabi, and that is no other than Michael Vico. For him, wherever Coach Gerson is, that is home. More than the talent, pamilya na raw talaga ang turing niya kay Coach Gerson. He values their relationship and yung trust na meron sa isa't isa. Kahit na upon arrival niya, mabigat na agad ang pressure because they have to win all the remaining games, okay lang daw. Well, could this mini reunion along with the Taganas, Mabulak, and Gabo finally fuel the fire of the Heat Waves? Let's find out. Mix and happy.
I asked Hesed Gabo, what did you miss the most about Michael Vico? And he said, it's that grit, it's that energy that he instantly brings onto his team. I'm sure Vico would be one of those guys na sa practice pa lang, bigay todo na.
Definitely. And, you know, I think more than any other player in the league, he is a true embodiment of grit. Dito sa ating liga, he goes 110% every time he's on the floor. It doesn't matter what circumstance or condition he is in. Whether he's injured or not, he will give it his all as long as he's given that opportunity to show out on the hardwood.
You know, Javi, as I was taking my vacation, I had a lot of time to think. At syempre, inisip ko pa rin yung MPBL. I thought of Michael Vico. How would I actually classify him in the greats of the league? And I realized he could actually be the best player without an award yet in the history of the MPBL. If not the best, then one of the best at that. Because if I would think about my all MPBL teams of all time, he would be considered. That's just me. And yet all the other players included in that list would already have awards, MVPs, all MPBL first and second team selections. Michael Wico still hasn't won an individual award.
That's certainly a very good argument to make, Mix. He definitely will be in my all-time MPBL 5 players without an award.
Now there's a potential unspo here on Justin Alano, by the way, who's also making his MPBL return. Although it's good to see him back in that Muntinlupa uniform. He got into it with Vince Tolentino. A lot of holding. And the push.
I think that's what Vince has been struggling with here in the MPBL. It's been dealing with the physicality on the glass. Obviously, Vince is there for his IQ, for his intelligence in reading offensive plays, but in rebounding, I feel he still has to make more effort in trying to battle out the opposing team's bigs. Definitely, Vince is a gem of a player that Coach Jerson Cabiltes could have here para sa Pangasinan.
Well, he is a champion himself back in his UAAP days. He was a team captain of that Ateneo team that defeated Ben Embala and the rest of DLSU in season 80. A miss by Pangasinan, and we're back with Muntinlupa. That's Flores showing us what he usually does.
That's a premier matchup at the point guard spot. Two guards who could score in bunches, Alfred Flores and Ian Valencio.
Now it's Michael Wico trying to back down against Makoy Marcos. That's a turnover. But that actually looked very familiar. That short pass by Wico onto Michael Mabula.
Reminiscent of their days with the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards.
Makoy Marcos up top against Wico. 6 on the shot clock. Makoy tried to barge his way through. It's a turnover. Mabulak needs a teammate. It's Michael Wico down the middle. Michael Wico is blocked. There's the effort. Another block. Better effort by Muntinlupa.
Alan Mina was wide open on the right wing. Wico should have made the pass, especially after he was blocked the first time, but forced the issue right there, and now it's a turnover para sa Pangasinan.
15-10. Under 3 minutes remaining in the first. Alfred Flores misfires. Offensive rebound onto Marge De Leon. De Leon blocked by Mabula. Great effort by Mike.
And not really known for his shot blocking skills, ito si Mike Mabulak, but definitely if you try to give him the business on the low block, he will battle it out with you, and he will not be afraid of what you give him because he knows that he also has to take what he can dish.
Hesed Gabo is inside now. Reunited with Michael Wico. Hesed fires. By the way, that look was comfortable already for him as Alan Mina just gave us a putback.
And he's been practicing that. Not anymore putting the ball down. When he catches it, he puts it right in his shot pocket so that it could be a quick release, especially now that defenses have been on him, being Pangasinan's leading scorer this season.
Just like Sam Hauser from the Boston Celtics.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
Gabo misfired on another 3, but then again, he had another good look. And there was a loose ball foul. I keep on bringing up these good looks for Hesed Gabo because we saw him fight for every look at the start of the season. He looked so gassed, and we knew that he was also injured.
Yeah.
So now he has some room to breathe. But they will need to deliver a lot of victories for Pangasinan. Alan Mina onto Michael Wico. 7 on the shot clock. Michael Wico, no good. Great effort by Marge De Leon.
Quite a tough angle to work with there para kay Mike Wico, coming from the right and trying to finish on the other side with the right hand.
Here's Alfred Flores. Mid-range pull-up, too strong. Rebound Mina. Allen looks ahead. The former Terra Firma player attacks and misses. Rebound Muntinlupa.
Now, usually teams would have a screener, set a drag screen when you go in transition like that. It was absent on that last play para sa Pangasinan, which didn't really leave him a lot of space inside the lane.
Ball tapped out of bounds. Pangasinan will get another try here. They're actually down by 3. even though we've been saying that they are looking more comfortable. But then again, it will take time for them to get acquainted once again. A minute and change in the first. Mina for three. Way off. Alfred Flores on the other end. Stop and pop. Short. Shooting hasn't been too friendly for two teams. Forward pass. Too long for Michael Mabulak.
Actually, more so para sa Pangasinan. They're shooting only 27% in this game. 5 out of 18 from the field.
Now we have a timeout. It is 15-12.
Tomorrow we witness the battle of the champions. Our defending champions, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns, will be facing our Season 4 champions, the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, tomorrow at the Nueva Ecija Coliseum in Palayan City. Abangan nyo yan, mga kaliga. I'm sure that everybody has been watching out for that blockbuster matchup between the two squads, Pampanga and Nueva Ecija. Of course, Nueva Ecija parading a new recruit in John Wilson, who actually already played last Saturday in Pangasinan. And itong Pampanga naman, led once again still by our reigning MVP, Balti Baltazar, Encho Serrano, and many other players. Although they will be without Miggy Corteza, who has already been traded to Marikina para kay Joe Gomez de Liano. Jacob Galicia, a new recruit for the Muntinlupa Cagers, scoring right there. Kakapasok lamang niya, 17-12. And then there's a score on the other side. The answer by Nat Cosejo, another new member of the Pangasinan Heatwaves, coming on over from the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguard. 17-14. We're winding down the first quarter now. Galicia facing up against the very gritty Mike Huico. Galicia fall-away jumper is short. Flores gets the steal. And that is gonna be it. Not enough time para kay Alfred Flores to get that basket, but still a gallant stand here in the first 10 minutes of action by the Muntinlupa Cagers, leading by 3 here against the Pangasinan Heatwaves. The Heatwaves have been struggling from the field here in the first quarter, only shooting 6 out of 20, while Muntinlupa has done good to score 7 out of 16. That's 43% from the field.
So it has been very friendly so far for the Cagers. We did feel the presence of Alfred Flores as soon as he came off the bench. There was quite a delay, but he's good to go. And his first quarter score is brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball and the partner of the MPBL. Basta ending, GameX. This fan of the game is brought to you by Jinky Skin. Great to see our fans present at the sideline looking good as we continue to enjoy our MPBL triple header. It is Muntinlupa versus Pangasinan following that overtime victory of Marikina versus QC. Later on, the San Juan Knights will defend their home court against Binyan Tatakgel. What a pass by Heset Gabo. That's a miss by Alan Mina. Having mentioned, shooting hasn't been very well in this game for Pangasinan. They're at 6 out of 21 and 2 out of 9 from downtown, as opposed to that 43% of Muntinlupa. Cagers, on the other hand, have only attempted 4 threes, making 1. Even that gimme is a miss, but the putback is good to go for Michael Huico. His first 2 points as a member of Pangasinan.
Alan Mina even missing from up close there. But yeah, welcome to Pangasinan para dito kay Michael Huico. Mina has also missed a lot of shots from the outside as well. Supposedly, that's his cup of tea.
Mina did miss a lot of shots as well in the previous game, 4 out of 13, but he did tell me that he's still getting used to the physicality here in the MPBL. Hesed Gabo. It's not Cosejo. Mabulak, short stab, no good. Full tap, no putback. Out of bounds in favor of the Heat Waves. Cosejo, by the way, is back to that 4 position after he spent most of his time as a small forward for Coach Don Dulai's Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards.
And he looks to be more comfortable playing that 4th spot, especially under his college coach, Coach Gerson Cabiltes.
But we do understand that he tried to make that transition, and he continues to actually make his case in being a good small forward, because if he would eventually play in the PBA, it has to be the small forward position for Nat Cosejo. Tamayo swings it over. This is Jacob Galicia, also on his first game with Muntinlupa, fresh from Bacolod City. 3 on the shot clock. Flores way off. Rebound Wico.
Now, this is the type of defense that the Coach Gerson Cabiltes squad is known for. Really tight and not allowing good opportunities to score for the opposing squad.
Nice.
Michael Wico getting the basket and one. Now, that is the type of grit that we expect coming from the former Pampanga and Nueva Ecija player.
I argued he could be the best MPBL player without an award, but I give you 2 instances where he was supposed to get an award. Number 1 was the All-Star game of Season 3 when he was representing the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Well, it was a game where in the North Division was actually well ahead. But then Jeff Viernes just became magical in the last half, and he forced the game into overtime, ultimately winning his second All-Star game MVP. And the second time for Michael Wico, as we take a look at Mayor Brian Celeste, the second time for Michael Wico was back in Season 4, the finals of the MPBL, where Byron Villarias was crowned Finals MVP. Michael Wico was just, what, a couple of statistical points away from winning that award.
You could even argue that that situation kind of mirrored what happened with Boston recently, wherein it was Jaylen Brown who won the Finals MVP. But, you know, it was a given that Michael Wico would contribute para sa Nueva Ecija. Then he was very steady para sa kanila in that final series.
What's your take about co-MVPs?
That's not really my type of thing. I really think that there should be just one MVP. After all, it is most valuable. So you gotta have to make the decision of who really brings that value to the team in whatever game or series.
Okay, that's good to hear from you, because I have a different personality, and I'm all for recognizing more people.
Definitely. And, you know, I'm not against the recognition of other players. I really do love to give awards to all of the players who perform well, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's an award that distinguishes players from the regular players. The award that distinguishes legends from regular players.
Yeah. All right, now, Michael Wico's team, Pangasinan, is looking good. They already have the advantage, 19-17, after they shot the ball not really well in the first quarter. Japs Bautista could definitely help in that category. And you see the activity of Hesed Gabo. It's less effort for him now.
He has more options around him, and if Japs Bautista regains his touch from the outside, it will make Gabo his job a lot easier para dito sa Pangasinan Heatwaves.
Cuevas, no good. Rebound Wico, one of the best rebounding guards in the MPBL. But it's a turnover. Counter run for Muntinlupa. Tamayo down the middle. No good. Another rebound for Michael Wico. There's a reason why he was also dubbed as the King of the North. Nice feed out to Nat Cosejo from Japs Bautista.
Back-to-back rebounds para kay Mike Wico. Not exactly the best passer coming out of the fast break, but good thing that he was able to see Cosejo, who got it to Japs Bautista.
24-17. This is the biggest lead in the game. Galicia answers back.
And Muntinlupa, for the most part of the first quarter, they were really in control of the opening period. But here, the Pangasinan Heatwaves, with the entry of Michael Wico, they have become a different team, a lot more physical on the defensive end, and doing a lot of better job on the glass.
Well, we have 3 players with great plus-minuses for Pangasinan. Hesed Gabo is one of those players. He has a plus 12 to his name. Cosejo has a plus 12 as well. Wico is a plus 9, and let's add Michael Mabulak to that list, who's at the plus 9 as well. This fast break of the game is brought to you by New Star. Win to the max. Jax Bautista to their power forward, Nat Cosejo. And now it's Joshua Giab, who will be shooting free throws on his last MPBL game for this season. I asked Coach Luis Gonzalez to compare his trajectory as to what we saw, or compared to what we saw with Marvin Junicio last year, and he said one can argue that Giab has the advantage because he's actually younger than Marvin. And to think about it, his MPBL stint is shorter compared to Marwin's last year.
Yeah, because Marvin actually had a lot of time spent with Marikina. Ito si Josh Giab, mabilis lang yung talagang linaro niya dito sa MPBL.
It's 3 months for him. Now they're down by 3 points, 24-21. So now we have a comparative analysis for Joshua Giab's numbers. Javi, please do the honors.
19 and 12 in their last game. Definitely one of his best games of the tournament. A season high para sa kanya in terms of points. 19 markers as opposed to his average of only 10.5 points per game. And here, playing his last game against Pangasinan, you could expect Josh Giab to have even more motivation to maybe surpass those numbers from that last game against Marikina. But it's definitely going to be a literally and figuratively tall order against this very vaunted front line of the Pangasinan Heatwaves.
Let's go back to Andrea Inicio.
Since this is the last game of De Leon and one of their vital components, Josh Giab, syempre kailangan nilang punan ang mga losses na ito. Hence the addition of Joshua Ramirez, Justin Alano, Lester Tamayo, and Jacob Galicia. Facing a veteran team, Coach Mixon Reyes said sakto ang pag-add nila ng mga players with more experience. The game plan is to do the early work, which probably explains their good start at pagurin daw itong Heatwaves by using fast but controlled pace of the game. Back to you guys.
You know, the term early work seems to be very familiar when we cover Muntinlupa games. It seems to be a theme for Coach Mixon Ramos. So we can domino that onto the Luis Gonzalez's and the rest of the JRU players and coaches here in the MPBL. Well, if it works for them, then why not? After all, they've seen great progress from their players in our league.
You know, if you're a coach, you always want to put your players and your team in a position to be efficient, and doing the early work, it takes away a lot of the effort come the second half, because what if you do the work early and you're able to establish an advantage in the first 2 quarters, in the second half you might not have to work as hard as if you're down by say 10-15 points, kasi after all mas nakakapagod na humabol, Migs.
Ngayon naghahabol sila after being up by 6 points at the early part of this game. And there's a charge. It's called on Makoy Marcos. Another 4.5 minutes to go before halftime. Joshua Fontanilla. Up top they go to Japs against Makoy Marcos. Bautista turning around. That's a good look all day for Josh. That's a 3.
Muntinlupa is in that zone, a little 1-3-1. They're daring Pangasinan to shoot it from the outside. Josh Fontanilla welcomes that opportunity.
That's 10 assists already in this game for Pangasinan. And it could be a steal. who tapped that ball. Apparently it was Gabe Capascio, so the turnover was forced.
That pass a little bit too behind. That's why there was a turnover para sa Muntinlupa.
This three-point shot is brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Josh Fontanilla, we missed him. He's been gone for quite a while. He said nandun lang siya sa kanila, nagpapakondisyon kasama ang kanyang mga kaibigan. And he seems to be in great shape. Nice pass, nice play. Sorry miss though for Ralph Robin. And we're back with the Cagers running. Jasper Cuevas. Marcos to Gabe Capascio for three. That is good.
Well, he seems to be in a good rhythm today. That's already 2 3-pointers sa laro na to para kay Gabe Capascio, but excellent setup right there by Jasper Cuevas, getting it to McCoy Marcos for that hockey assist.
Bautista at the corner. No good. Offensive rebound. Another chance here for, I was about to say the Phoenix Suns, the Pangasinan Heatwaves. It's really confusing.
Isang letra lang yung pinagkaiba eh.
Ito pa, yung X saka W, hindi naman nagkakalayo ang hugis nila. Even the colors are the same. We're not, you know, taking a knock on that jersey. It looks good. It's just familiar. Pass inside. Giap. Yes.
That's certainly not the usual mistake a Pangasinan team would make defensively. Ralph Robin missing his defensive assignment underneath, and there was a switch that happened, and that's why Giab was the one that he was guarding, scoring inside, pero bumawi naman sa kabila si Ralph Robin agad.
That's 8 points in this game for Ralph Robin in 9 minutes of play. Bacoy Marcos on the other end. A three-pointer for him.
He certainly looked comfortable taking that pass from what looked like a staggered screen, but I think it was supposed to be an elevator setup para sa kanya, but nonetheless still good outside shot by McCoy Marcos.
Ralph Robin is feeling it on the other end. A three-pointer for him. Now he's in double figures. Leading all scorers with 11. Gabe Capascio missing. And we're back with Ralph. Robin on the move. Robin, feet work. Robin, yes sir.
You know, being around veterans and great facilitators in Hesed Gabo, Josh Fontanilla, it certainly makes Ralph Robin's job so much easier, because what he has to focus on is just literally to shoot the basketball and make sure it goes in.
It's good that you mentioned those other key figures for Pangasinan, as Joshua Giab just made a three-pointer. Also because we'd like to argue that Robin has learned a lot from his vets, to the point that his chemistry stretches upon their travels together. Na-mention sa atin ni Mika Abisamis na may Batmobile nga itong si Ralph Robin, which is the car of Hesed Gabo. At isipin mo, yung 3-4 na oras na yon na magkasama sila sa kotse, just the amount of wisdom that he gets from his very own Batman. But then again, Muntinlupa continues to give us another response, a three-pointer by Gabe Capascio.
Wow, Gabe Capascio having himself a ball game tonight. 3 3-pointers already sa laro na to para kay Gabe Capascio. But look at the breakdown there by Jasper Cuevas, and Pangasinan continues to disrespect the ability to shoot from the outside nito ni Gabe Capascio.
We have a timeout, 36-35. In the family of G's, it's Gabe who shines today, not Coach Glenn, he's not a coach, not Gwen Capascio, but Mr. Gabriel Capascio has made it rain inside the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center. 3 3-pointers, 11 points. So Again, I don't have a problem with that double pump of a shot. If it works for you, why not? But Javi did argue, if you're his defender, you got to give respect to that shot.
Especially now that he's extending his range to beyond the arc. That's always been his shot. Never niya na pinalitan yan. Because he's always had a good percentage. He was a great shooter from the mid-range. Not really a good shooter yet from the outside during our high school and college days. But he certainly is showing that consistency from three-point country tonight.
36-35, Muntinlupa has a chance to regain the lead. Makoy Marcos, pass inside. That is a steal by Michael Wico. He's on the move. The king of the north will go all the way. Nope, there's the feed. Robin, no foul. Ball tapped and recovered by Muntinlupa. 10 seconds. That's a bump by Josh Fontanilla. And it's 2 free throws for Jasper Cuevas.
Pangasinan should have committed the foul early on in that transition opportunity because they do still have fouls to give. Kaya lang, ngayon, binigyan nila ng 2 free throws si Jasper Cuevas.
The first one is good. His shot actually could have counted. Just went out. What about the free throw shooting percentage? 90% for Jasper Cuevas. Mababati ba? The answer is no, with 7 seconds to go before halftime. Essen Gabo returns. Same goes for Alan Mina. So no big men are on the floor. Michael Wico is basically the center now for Pangasinan. Montanilla onto Gabo. Hesed, 2 seconds. He lost the ball. Recovery. Wico, no foul. And that's it for our first 20 minutes. It's shaping up to be another game that will go down the wire sa Liga ng Bawat Pilipino. 37-36 for Pangasinan and Muntinlupa.
What a ball game between these two squads. Jasper Cuevas has been facilitating great for Muntinlupa, and in turn, Gabe Capasso has been the beneficiary of a lot of great feeds coming from Jasper Cuevas. 11 points, 4 out of 5 from the field overall. 3 3-pointers in the game para kay Gabe Capasso. Si Gabe Capasso po yan, hindi po si Gwen.
Yes, this halftime score is brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball ending partner of the MPBL. Basta ending, GameX. And now we present to you a teaser for tomorrow's Battle of Champions, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns and the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards.
2022 season national champions, Nueva Ecija Rice 2023 MPBL national champions, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns.
Nueva Ecija, the only unbeaten team in the North, pero looking very strong at the moment. Galing din sila sa matinding panalo dito. Yalo will not be shy, and why not? Ang maganda pa para kay Will Macaroni. Lervin drives left. Lervin, yes! What can you do?
back here at the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center for your Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. My name is Andrea Endiso, and right now we will be having our halftime interview together with Sir Kaiser Galvez, the team owner of the Muntinlupa Cagers. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me here at the half. Sir Kaiser, with the departure of your two SGL players na alam naman po natin naging vital component na ng Muntinlupa for the season, how do you think will that affect the team?
It's going to be a big factor, knowing that Joshua Diab is our go-to guy, especially down low. And si De Leon din, main isa sa starting center namin. So, malaking spot yung mawawala. So, the team is recruiting some players na mag-fill up dun sa role nila, which is lagi namin sinasabi na if ready sila, kasi sobrang laking responsibility yung mawawala ay maiiwan ni Gia Ben De Leon. So nire-ready namin yung team namin sa pag-alis nila. Actually, today is their last game kasi hanggang the 30th lang yung mga SGL players. So come July 1st, so yung ine-expect namin ng mga big mans and mga players na papalit sa kanila, talagang ine-expect namin na hindi man same as kung ano yung naibigay nila, pero at least kahit konti lang maibigay nila para hindi kami mahirapan sa mga adjustments, especially sa offense and defense.
With that being said po, Sir Kaiser, given the situation na we are halfway done sa ating elimination rounds as the team owner, ano pa po ba yung mga kailangan baguhin, kailangan gawin ng team?
Ang lagi ko sa kanilang sinasabi is undersized kami. So, kailangan namin mas magporsige sa defense, especially sa mga half court, sa full court trap, kasi yan ang strength namin since maliliit kami. So yan yung binibigyan namin emphasis. So sabi ko, kailangan magpa-condition para sa depensa hindi tayo maalangan sa mga kalaban natin.
And hopefully makita po natin yan sa second half ng ating elimination round. Sir Kaiser, meron po ba kayong gustong batiin o pasalamatan?
Actually, marami. First of all, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors, ang Elberg, Shape Manning Philippines, Mami Prosi Tiray, Papa Nicolo Tiray, ang wife ko si Mary Grace Galvez. Salamat sa support. Ang Smile 360, ang Maven Clothing, ang Paramount Logistics, mga kapatid ko, si Aya Saicon at saka si Attorney Jem. Maraming salamat sa inyo. Ang NGL, si Tito Napla Chica, maraming salamat sa support. Ang La Germania, Mark Tagle, maraming salamat sa support din. Ang Tito Rex Steakhouse and Goto, kay Joel Yuga and kay Maan, maraming salamat sa inyo. Ang Perea Moto District, maraming salamat din. At sa lahat ng mga sponsors namin, maraming salamat sa inyo sa walang sawang pagsuporta. Pinabati ko si Don Borsena, si Mike Limpe, at lahat ng family ko sa Las Vegas, ang mami at daddy ko, mga anak ko, kamusta kayo dyan? Yun lang.
Alright, thank you so much po. And that's it for our halftime interview. Don't go away, magbabalik pa rin po ang MPBL.
We are at halftime for Muntinlupa versus Pangasinan. The Cagers are looking good, up by 1, 37-36. It's been a seesaw battle so far. Muntinlupa led by as many as 6, and then they trailed by as many as 8. We argued the shooting differences for Pangasinan in the first and second frames, but where are they now, Javi?
Well, for Pangasinan, they're only shooting 37%. At one point, actually, they were shooting 25% from the field. A lot of open looks, but they haven't been able to capitalize on many of them. Hesed Gabo has not been able to hit a shot, but Ralph Robin has been keeping them in this game with his 13 points, and that's why Pangasinan is up in terms of bench points, 19-6, and also doing a good job on the glass, a +7 in that department. Muntinlupa still, despite dominating the rebounding department against Marikina, they're still in a good position to be able to make good effort plays, especially with this 1-point lead that they have right now. And their new recruits have been doing good in this game. Parang ang ganda ng pagkaka-inculcate sa kanila ni Coach Mixon Ramos dito, especially the guys in the front line. Jacob Galicia and Lester Tamayo have been doing a good job of trying to steady the ship para sa kanila.
Galicia has 4 points to his name, but it's Gabe Capasio who leads the way with 11. Gabe has 9 on his last Muntinlupa outing. Makoy Marcos has 6 as well for the Cagers. On the other end, for the Pangasinan Heatwaves, there's Ralph Robin on the screen. He has 13. Michael Wico on his debut with the Heatwaves has 5. Fontanilla has 5 and Cosejo has 4. As much as you argue that difference that you mentioned for the newcomers of Muntinlupa, especially with their big men, what's the biggest difference that you're seeing so far for Pangasinan?
For Pangasinan, at least right now, the offense is now more fluid para sa kanila. You mentioned earlier how Hesed Gabo and Josh Fontanilla now don't have to make a lot more effort in terms of scoring. Now they can focus on orchestrating and setting up the offense para sa Pangasinan Heatwaves, and also playing the other side of the basketball, which we all know Coach Gerson Cabiltes, he puts a lot of premium on the defensive side of the game.
And by the way, that would ultimately preserve them come the fourth quarter, because we did see them gassed at the earlier part of the season when the offense was basically going around those guards. And I would even argue that the games have been very close for them. So yung mga moments na yun, marami talaga yun para kina Hesed Gabo, Ian Melencio and company, as this free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. All right, buy me some time here. I'm gonna present to you the losses of Pangasinan.
All right, okay, let's just talk about how Pangasinan has been doing so far. Go on, Mix.
So they lost by 1 to Caloocan and Valenzuela. They lost by 2 to Rizal and Davao. They lost by 3 to Binyan. They lost by 4 to Quezon City and Quezon Province. And they lost by 8 to San Juan and Abra. It's been that tight for them all season long, as Gabe Capasio just made another jumper.
And that's why you can argue that definitely, actually you can't argue, you could establish the fact that it's really closing out games that have been a problem for them. And the reason why they have a problem closing out games is because nga napapagod sila throughout the game.
Well, Michael Wico, ito hindi napapagod to.
Hindi talaga. Mike Wico will give his 150% whenever he's on the floor.
Let's check Wico's numbers. He already has 9 points and 9 rebounds in this game. He's the leading rebounder for Pangasinan and Muntinlupa. 40-39. 90 seconds gone by in the third. 7 on the shot clock. Gabe Capasio. Tough shot. No good. Rebound Mabulak. No leak out. And here's Galicia off of his steal. He will score.
Excellent takeaway right there by Jacob Galicia. Mabulak a little bit too careless right there in making the forward pass.
Mabulak for redemption possibly. Backing down, musting his way through. There's a kick out. Michael Wico is called for a walk. Well, more often than not, he will not shoot that 3.
He was a little bit too eager there. You mentioned that he will not shoot that outside shot most times. That's why, as a defender, you could expect him to attack the basket.
41-40. Makoy Marcos onto Gabe Capacio. Now it's Jacob Galicia against JP Maguliano. Up top, they swing to the left. That's a steal for Hesed. Up ahead, it's Michael Wico. 3-on-2 action. Wico, touch pass. And it's 2 points for Ian Melencio.
Not usually the best decision maker in leading the break, but right there, making the right play to Ian Melencio was Mike Wico.
42-41. Galicia. Arenal. By the way, RJ has been quiet after that first basket that he had early in the first. Gabo, another steal, 1-2, and the bucket.
A little Pinoy step right there para kay Hesed Gabo for his first basket of the game. He had the trailer behind him. I think it was Mike Wico running back to try and trail the play, but took it into his own hands, saw that he had a smaller defender on him in Alfred Flores.
It's 3 steals in this game already for Hesed Gabo, who, by the way, has been very efficient all season long. He's number 9 in the league at shooting at 46%. But speaking of percentages, Gabe Capacio has been very efficient tonight. Let's see his numbers. He's 6 out of 8 from the field, 75%.
This is definitely his best game of the season. His season high previous to this was 9 points against the Davao Occidental Tigers. That was last May 1.
Missed by Wico, and Mabulak will stop the break.
You would expect that coming from a heartbreaker of a loss, as we take a look at this fast break
Of the game, brought to you by New Star. Win to the max. Hesed Gabo, one guy to beat. As you mentioned, Pinoy step. Sometimes I still have a hard time determining whether or not it's a Pinoy step.
Usually it's a 1-2 step in front.
It's not a side step.
It's not a side step.
Paharap.
Paharap eh. Usually paharap talaga pag Pinoy step eh.
Okay. Let's see if that can make things easier for me moving forward.
Isipin mo na lang ganito. Yung Pinoy step paharap, yung side step, Euro step.
Okay, Euro step equal to side step. Alright, sige, sige. I hope I can see another one in this game as Maguliano misfires. And here comes Gabe Capacio. Galicia onto Gabe. 10 on the shot clock. Flores drives left. No block there. Wow, what a conversion with his right hand.
Difficult shot. Gabo went for the gamble, tried to go for the steal. That left Maguliano in an island against the downhill Alfred Flores. But the answer by Chester Ian Melencio.
That's 3 points for him, totaling 7 for the legend of Cavite. Now there's a foul on the other end. I want to see what the final lineup would look like for Pangasinan moving forward. Here's the replay. Melencio. As compared to Michael Wico, he will shoot. Itong si Ian Melencio.
You just give him a little bit of space, but what a shot right there. A scoop shot with the inside hand by Alfred Flores.
Now let's get the scoop from Andrea Indicio.
During the huddle for Pangasinan, the coaches talked about the overthinking and overpassing happening inside the court. Right now, they are being forced to play the way Muntinlupa wants it to happen. So for their adjustment, wag daw maging tentative sa tira. Be more confident and make things simpler. On the side of Muntinlupa naman, although they like what happened in the first half, may mga points of improvement pa rin, like on defense and offensive rebounding. Pati na rin in terms of assists, they are averaging 14 per half, but tonight, they only had 10. But on their defense, since marami daw silang additions, yung binubuo pa lang daw na chemistry is the culprit. Back to you guys.
All right, it will definitely take time for actually 2 of our teams with all of their new additions. Ian Melencio is not taking more time though because he's already very comfortable under Coach Jerson Cabiltes. 50-47 off of his conversion, but that's a nice counter by RJ Arenal and Jacob Galicia.
Well, offensively, I don't think they're experiencing any chemistry issues. The ball movement has been superb for Muntinlupa in this game, but tama si Andrea in that report that it's in the defensive end where the miscommunication seems to happen para sa Muntinlupa Cagers.
50-49. Arenal pass inside. That's practically the same play, same result. Napaganda pa para kay Jacob Galicia.
That's what you love about RJ Arenal. He's such a willing passer as long as he sees that there is a better opportunity inside. Look at this two-man game. Flores gets it to Arenal, who popped out on that short corner, saw that Galicia was diving down to the basket and nobody was on him. The help came late, and that's why Pangasinan had no other recourse but to foul.
And that's also what makes RJ Arenal the finesse big man that you described in the first half. Jacob Galicia in double figures, converts from the stripe. He has 11 as the second leading scorer of Muntinlupa. He's behind Gabe Capascio, who has 15. On the other end, Ralph Robin has 13 and Melencio has 10. Gabo will fire. That's good.
It was only a matter of time before he could hit his first outside shot. Shot blanks in the first half, but that was a good exchange between him and Ian Melencio. Melencio could have taken the shot for himself because he was the hot hand for Pangasinan in this stretch, but chose to give it up to Hesed Gabo, and it turned out to be a good decision.
Now, the ball went out of bounds, and all of the players of Pangasinan tried to ask for a challenge, and so Coach Gerson will grant that wish. Now we have our play of the game, brought to you by Suzuki. Finesse big man to the other big man in Jacob Galicia. 2 easy points. So that was the first play of the two that we witnessed between those two players. Here in the third quarter, we have 3.5 minutes remaining, and it is a 1-point advantage, 53-52. Coach Gerson, by the way, will never shy away from these challenges, and we will take a short break.
The challenge made by Pangasinan is successful.
Challenge successful for Coach Gerson Cabiltes. There's Mayor Brian Celeste behind him with Bell.
That's correct, and you know he is a coach that listens to his players, especially if it's a unanimous decision. All 5 players on the floor saying that nobody touched it from their squad.
53-52, Ian Melencio. Against that zone of Muntinlupa that we also saw in the first half. Vince Tolentino onto Melencio. It's Alan Mina who misfires. And the ball was tapped out of bounds.
They're playing a hybrid zone of some sort. Itong Muntinlupa, it's like a man zone actually, where they extend and try to really pressure the ball handler, which makes it hard for Pangasinan to move that ball around freely. Usually against the zone, that's how you break them down. Aside from shooting it from the outside, you got to be able to move the ball from side to side and expect the defense to commit a mistake, and that's when you go for an attempt at the basket.
By the way, that zone was very effective in the first half when Pangasinan wasn't shooting very well. As you mentioned, at some point, the efficiency of the Heat Waves was just 25%, but now they've raised it to 40% compared to Muntinlupa's 47%. You know, Muntinlupa is actually the lowest scoring team in the MPBL. They only average 66 per game. So this game obviously is well on pace to surpass that. Could there be an argument, as Flores scores inside, could there be an argument that this is, you know, the pace of Pangasinan?
It is the pace of Pangasinan, but the way that they have been engaging the Heat Waves in a duel, definitely a welcome sign para kay Coach Mixon Ramos. As long as they make those timely stops, they have a good chance of winning this game. Unfortunately, Ian Melencio, he continues to be on fire here in the third quarter for the Heat Waves.
So Melencio is up to 12 points, surpassing a season average of 9.6. 4 boards, 4 dimes, 68% from the line. No conversion Rebound to Galicia. 55-54, Pangasinan regaining the lead. This follows the overtime victory of Marikina against Quezon City. After this, it's San Juan versus Binyan here inside the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center. Alfred Flores misfires, rebound Alan Mina. And here come the heat waves. Mina, feed onto Posejo. And he gets the bounce.
It looked like he was going nowhere with that play. Ito si Alan Mina. When he got the bump, decided that he would pass off that basketball, and good thing Cosejo was near him to be able to receive and get that push shot to go.
Well, that's one of the things that Alan Mina is getting used to. What bumps would be called and what bumps would be let go. As March De Leon was able to answer back on the other end. Oh, nice move. Alan Mina with some finesse.
He smelled blood in the water the moment that he saw Ramirez was on him. He knew that he had the advantage in terms of speed. Put on the crossover, the spin, and then the up and under, kissing it off the glass.
59-56. Walang lumalayo. Ramirez will fire. That's his shot. Yes, sir.
Josh Ramirez, I think he's sending a message as well to Alan Mina, saying that if you could score the basketball, hey, I could shoot it from the outside too, just like you. And in fact, you haven't been shooting from the outside well in this game.
Ian Melencio was fouled on the other end. Galicia tried to close out on him, but Ian was too fast. And on the recovery, Galicia just had to disrupt the layup of Ian.
As we continue this back and forth scoring between these two squads. Now the question remains para dito sa Muntinlupa, how long can they keep this up? How long can they be able to sustain trading baskets against a very talent-laden squad and a veteran team like the Pangasinan Heatwaves, who are never short of scorers and never short of players who will embrace the big moments?
That's now. Because ironically, the argument to that was to Pangasinan at the start of the season.
Yes.
If they can keep up with their opponents. Pressure defense at the backcourt, broken down by the Cagers. Muntinlupa's down by 2. Under 50 seconds remaining in the third. Galicia works with Marge. Flores again. Oh, double cross. Nice move. Basket and one for Alfred Flores.
What a thing of beauty para kay Alfred Flores, the former ICC Blue Hawk. Check this one out, the double cross a la Allen Iverson, putting it against Alan Mina and getting the foul in the process. Alfred Flores, definitely a guy you can look to score para sa Muntinlupa.
I actually thought it was a triple cross by Flores. Sa buwelo pa lang, pakros na rin
no?
eh.
Ang bilis kasi nung galaw eh.
And Muntinlupa gladly took that. 3-point conversion, 62-61. Fontanilla, he spins, almost traveled. Josh will score. No more shot clock here. Last 15 seconds for Alfred Flores. And it's a steal for Josh. Fontanilla on the move. He has numbers. Fontanilla was fouled.
So he had 3 other guys ready to receive the basketball there, but Fontanilla had his eyes on the rim. He will take 2 shots. Flores, not really characteristic of him to be careless with the basketball, bringing it up, especially going in when what could have been the final possession of the quarter para sa Muntinlupa.
Missed by Josh Fontanilla on his first gimme. 50% shooting from the stripe. Well, that could be raised. 1 out of 2. Matching his season output so far. 6 seconds. Muntinlupa down by 2 in the third. Cuevas fires. Too strong. Rebound Marge. He's blocked by Nat Cosejo. And that's going to do it for our first 30 minutes. It still is a 1-possession game.
Yeah, both teams continue to shoot well from the field. Muntinlupa 51%. Pangasinan is at 45%. And the threes have been falling. Ian Melencio, Ralph Robin, Michael Wico combining for 36 points here in this game to help Pangasinan keep the lead in this game. But of course, the Cagers, they're not going to back down just yet.
Wico, by the way, has 9 rebounds as well to his name. He could be getting his first Best Player of the Game award representing the Pangasinan Heatwaves. So we have 1 quarter to go. This third quarter score is brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball ending partner of the MPBL. Basta ending, GameX. This fan of the game is brought to you by Jinky Skin. Oh, mukhang 3 pa. 4. Meron pa ba? 5. Meron pa ba? Wala na.
It's
Pwede
a
rin
whole
naman natin
row.
isama. Yung nasa likod din, pwede. Ang ating mga fans of the game. Brought to us by Jinky Beauty. There's Miss Jinky Pacquiao herself. We thank you for joining us. This is Mix Gomez at your service alongside Abby Palanya and Andrea Endicio as we come to you live from the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center in San Juan, the home of the MPBL's second season champions. It is 64-62. Nat Cosejo unable to score, but there's the putback.
Relentless right there on the glass as we take a look at the quarter scoring on your screens. Both of these squads really scoring in bunches in this game. 28-25 in that third quarter. The second time both of these teams breached the 20-point barrier in this game after a 17-14 first period. Ooh.
Unspo. That's a signal by referee Jonald Belnas. Is it Justin Alano once again? But he did have a smile after the entanglement, so it could have been on a Pangasinan player. Kitang-kita mo yung reaction ni Justin.
He is most of the time involved in these kinds of entanglements. Let's see if he really is on the receiving end of this one.
May banggaan. May banggaan ulit. Actually, hindi yun entanglement eh.
Hindi. Banggaan lang
Banggaan
talaga.
lang talaga eh.
It was a double hit by Justin Alano. He set the initial screen. A little movement with the right shoulder. And then Azmina tried to go through again. Set another one with the left shoulder.
Okay, so it's an unspo on Alano.
Sportsman-like foul. Number 15, Justin Alano is second.
If the force wasn't that strong, it could have been an offensive foul at best. Kaya lang, sobrang lakas kasi talaga ng buwelo eh.
Yeah, and by the way, we saw the slow-mo.
Yeah.
Imagine how hard it
It was very clear.
in real time. So Alan Mina will now be shooting free throws. Here's the first free throw of Alan. That is good. Another try to extend the lead of Pangasinan. 5 points so far for Alan Mina. 1 out of 2. The biggest lead was 8 for the Heat Waves. 6 for the Cagers. Sideline inbound, Josh Fontanilla. He's working with Cosejo, Mina, Tolentino, and Robin. Josh back at it against Bacoy Marcos. Fontanilla, 5 on the shot clock. Fontanilla onto Ralph, Robin, trying to make a move. There's the fade and the miss. Takpo sa kabila. Cuevas, Marcos, Ramirez. Now it's De Leon. Onto Joshua Giab. Face up against Tolentino. Giab, baseline drive. Giab muscling his way through, and he scores.
Despite a lot of off-ball movement right there on that last play for Muntinlupa, Josh Giab taking matters into his own hands. The same with Josh Fontanilla on the other side for the quick answer para sa Pangasinan. And again, the back and forth continues here in the fourth quarter between these two squads.
Almost a steal for Fontanilla. 69-64. And there's a push. It's on Fontanilla, who was a bit too aggressive in that previous sequence. Ramirez checks out. Gabe Capascio, by the way, who's in the game and has the ball, has 15 points. He has quieted down, actually, in the third quarter. Let's see if he can respond. Tough pass. That's a turnover.
He should have went for the shot. He was already open.
Tolentino to Robin at the corner. Too strong. Rebound Cosejo, and there's a foul.
Ralph Robin from Dick Grayson has certainly moved down to Tim Drake here in the second half. He has scored a lot of blanks dito sa ating third and fourth quarters after a good start in the first two periods.
So it's like naghawaan sila ni Gabe.
Yeah.
Although Gabe did score 4 points in the third. Ralph Robin has 13 so far. And yes, he had 13 at the half. So he's been quieter. Can he answer? There you go. Right on cue.
He's going to keep shooting that basketball no matter how much shots he misses. And Cuevas on the other side trying to go quick early offense. Initiating the contact. Check out this setup by Ralph Robin. Getting the screen by Nat Cosejo and priming himself up for that outside shot. Usually it's difficult to pull up with the same hand as your strong hand. But Ralph Robin making it happen there with that left-handed jumper.
Now this free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Would you actually say that the shooting form of Ralph Robin helps him in that case? Na sinasabi mong gamit niya yung dominant hand niya to dribble and then he will shoot?
Yeah, definitely. It's very conventional the way that he shoots the basketball kasi talagang nandito sa shoulder niya yung shot pocket eh. And he definitely only uses just one hand to be able to put that ball in and talagang guide hand lang yung kanan niya.
72-65. Robin leans in. Short. Offensive rebound. There's the kick out. Allen Mina. 8 on the shot clock. Mina. Traveling violation. Very interesting. And Coach Gerson wants a challenge.
He already had a challenge earlier, but it was successful. That's why he has a chance to make another one right now.
This would be his last if it would be granted. But it seems like referee Jonathan Bellas will not allow it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, so we move on. Makoy Marcos will inbound, working with Gabe Capascio. It is 72-65. Under 7.5 minutes remaining in this game. This is our prelude to San Juan versus Binyan. And to tomorrow's Pampanga versus Nueva Ecija. Makoy Marcos onto the left. Gabe Capascio. No foul there. Ball out of bounds in favor of Muntinlupa.
I think Allen Mina did an impressive job there, forcing Capascio to try and go attack the basket when he already had the opportunity to pull up after a couple of dribbles, because that is more of a shot than attacking the cup.
Michael Wico is back. One on the shot clock. Capascio misfires. And it's a 24-second shot clock violation.
And now you see things slowly shaping up in the discussion of how long Muntinlupa can sustain trading baskets against Pangasinan. And right now they're down by 7.
Cuevas, no good. 2 free throws for the youngster.
The defense has amped up para sa Pangasinan. Capascio has had a hard time seeing the basket. Marcos the same. And Arenal hasn't been able to make those nifty passes that he delivered in the third quarter. Josh Giab has also had a difficult time. He's had to bleed for his points here in the fourth quarter.
Cuevas making his first gimme, has 4 points so far. This is a guy who had to learn a lot at the start of the season, as described to us by his teammates. He lost his confidence. And, well, apparently he's come a long way. At ngayon, may kapalitan pa siya na si Alfred Flores, for them to be playing at the same time. And that is a testament to the caliber of Jasper Cuevas.
Yeah, this is usually the combination that they use towards the end of games. Both Flores and Cuevas in the backcourt. And, you know, these two guys are interchangeable. They can both score the basketball and orchestrate at the same time.
There's a foul on that attack by Michael Mabulak. He just took Joshua Giab to school.
Now, this is another problem para sa Muntinlupa. Now, do you go back to having Ryan Arenal back in the game, as well as Justin Alano, to try and match Pangasinan's Mike Mabulak on the low block? Or do you stay with this a fast five, quite a small ball lineup para dito sa Muntinlupa, and try to play the speed matchup where you have the advantage against Pangasinan?
That was the first point of Michael Mabulak in this game. He has 5 rebounds to his name. He has only played 13 minutes, which is very good for Michael Mabulak, because that allows him to preserve himself from the big moments and the bigger games. Makoy Marcos. They swing it over to Gabe Capacio. Yes!
Big shot right there para kay Gabe Capacio. And that definitely puts them out of a slump and brings them to within 1 possession here against the Heat Waves.
18 points for Gabe, and there's a foul inside. You did mention size advantage for Pangasinan, so they continue to exploit that. Let's see that previous sequence. The unselfishness from the Cagers, and the 3-pointer for Gabe.
And that actually might be reviewable. His foot looked like it was on the line. And the Cagers now in the penalty mix with still a lot of time to go here in the 4th quarter. But for Pangasinan, they have to be able to make good on their free throws.
I'm looking at the players who are in foul trouble for Muntinlupa. Arenal only has 2, so he's fine. Tamayo has 4. Galicia has 3. And Alano has 2. So they have some fouls to spare.
Yeah.
Think about it. They might just be buying some time for them to rest. And we'll also take a bit of rest here.
The challenge made by Muntinlupa is unsuccessful. Foul on Makoy Marcos, his second.
Challenge unsuccessful. Coach Mixon Ramos. Where's the foul? Ayun. Nakahawak si Makoy Marcos. Actually, umamin nga siya.
That already defeats the purpose of your Coach Mixon Ramos. Yung player na mismo yung umamin.
Baka nagbagong isip ni Makoy. Well, either way, it is unsuccessful. Maguliano just missed his first gimme though. And Arenal is getting ready to check back in. He has to do it the right way. Can't just run towards the court. Etong tanong ko, ilang players bang nasa floor for Muntinlupa? Ayan, 5 naman. Joshua Giab, I think, just had to wipe his sweat, or maybe even take a water break. Ayun. Bumalik siya sa court para bumalik sa bench. And now Arenal is on the floor.
And that's definitely a better matchup against Michael Mabulak, having RJ Arenal there on the floor.
Ooh! Too much aggression from JP Maguliano. And that's the last foul to give for Pangasinan.
They're going to have to be careful here because Muntinlupa has been steady at the line in this game, 13 out of 17, compared to their 64% from the free throw line, 9 out of 14 for the Heat Waves.
Gabe Capascio against Michael Wico. Got the switch. It's Flores who drives. Alfred leans in. No basket. Oh, there's the putback by the little man.
I think that was a lousy decision by Hesed Gabo to gamble and try to steal that ball from behind. That left Flores with the opportunity to get the offensive rebound. Unfortunately for Muntinlupa, it's hard to stop a freight train that is named Michael Wico.
That's 11 points and 9 rebounds already in this game for Michael Wico on his debut for Pangasinan. The lead is 4. Arenal backing down. No good. Rebound Maguliano. Forward pass. Melencio turning around. 2-on-1. Ian. Too strong. And there's a loose ball foul. A lot of chaos in the interior.
Well, he had to make a decision right away, talking about Ian Melencio.
This play of the game is brought to you by Suzuki. Hesed Gabo, Michael Wico, as you described. Freight train against the Cagers of Muntinlupa. No problem for the Kapampangan, who will go up against the Giant Lanterns in their next game, by the way. Here's Michael at the stripe, a member of our 1,000 points club. And he did joke to us na partida. Nag 1,000 points ako nang walang shooting.
Yan na nga eh. And Mike Wico has carved out a very prominent professional career here in the MPBL. After a short stint in the PBA, he has gone on to become one of the best to ever lace it up dito sa Liga ng Bawat Pilipino, and he will definitely be called a legend when all is said and done.
Well, character-wise, I'm gonna go ahead and say bagay na bagay siya sa MPBL, as Gabe Capascio is scorching hot here in the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center.
I haven't seen Gabe score this way before. He would usually make some baskets, but not like this. All game long brilliance para kay Gabe Capascio.
21 points, 4 threes for Gabe, making Daddy Glenn and Kuya Gwyn proud. But right now, Mabulak just picked up another foul off of RJ Arenal. This was the three-pointer by Gabe Capascio. You know, you said James Yap, there's somebody else in my mind. I can't pinpoint it as of this moment with that jumper. Sa MPBL, si Bala Cunha ang compare ko eh. Pero sa NBA, may iba pa akong naiisip. Let me get back to you on that.
All right. But yeah, you know, he definitely has a very unique jumper, going up high at the apex and then bringing it down a bit para may konting buwelo dun sa pulso niya.
May argument ng floor director natin na si Ki. Sino? Paul Lee daw.
Paul Lee?
Well, Paul Lee, not really much of the elevation. I guess it's the nasa kaliwa yung bola.
It's the release, yeah. But Paul Lee kasi diretso eh, one motion eh. Si Gabe kasi may hits eh.
Oo. There's Jeff Comia, by the way, with Mac Barakael. You see how deep Pangasinan has gone?
Yeah.
The window has surely been very helpful for them. Rebound Arenal off of that free throw miss. The lead is still 2. Under 4.5 minutes to go. It's Arenal trying to back down. They're almost losing time. 5 seconds. McCoy for 3. That is good. And Muntinlupa has the lead.
Big shot. The three-pointers have been falling here in the fourth quarter para sa Muntinlupa. Earlier, it was Gabe Capascio. Now, McCoy Marcos. These two guys not really known as great outside shooters, but they have been showing the range here tonight against the Pangasinan Heatwaves. In the big moments, they have not shied away.
So, Muntinlupa has a 1-point lead, 78-77, 4 minutes to go. Presenting our Suzuki muscular and sporty fans of the game, just like the Avenus, do more and achieve more with the muscular and sporty scooter from Suzuki, the Avenus. Oras na para magmotor. We are coming to you live from the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center in the city of San Juan. Do we have some celebrities at the sideline?
Yeah.
Do you know them?
Forgive me, I just can't recall their names.
Ako rin eh. Sensya na po kayo kasi lumaki kami ni Javi, puro sports ang pinapanood.
Tsaka pinutulan po kami ng cable ng nanay ko. Masyado po kasi kami na-addict sa TV kaya hindi na po kami nakanood ng masyado maraming teleserye.
Etong floor director natin, kilala dahil nanonood siya naman teleserye. That's Arlene Mulak.
Okay, alright.
Okay. Kamukha nga ni Aga Mulak. I might be wrong, but
yeah, forgive us, Miss Arlene, if hindi namin kayo nakilala agad. But thank you to Key, our floor director.
That's why we have floor directors.
Yeah.
To save us on air. 78-77. Alfred Flores. Screen by RJ Arenal. They swing it over. McCoy. Back-to-back three-pointers for McCoy Marcos.
And Muntinlupa makes they're not doing anything very special on the offensive end. It's just a simple two-man game on the right side and then a lift by Marcos to make himself available for that outside shot. He has been fearless in taking those three-pointers here in the fourth. So has Michael Wico. That guy has been fearless throughout his career.
Michael Wico now has 14 points and 10 rebounds to his name. We've argued that all of the losses of Pangasinan have been close. Now, their backs are against the wall again, especially after this three-pointer by McCoy Marcos, who's up to 14 points to go alongside his 2 boards and 3 dimes. It's 81-79, but there's the answer from Michael Wico. Normally, at this time, it's going to be Hesed Gabo, Ian Melencio, and Ralph Robin exclusively scoring for Pangasinan, but they already have more tools. Speaking of tools, Cuevas just got injured. And so this could be a big loss for them down the stretch.
Especially with the way that Cuevas has been able to defend para sa Muntinlupa, trying to cover guys like Melencio and Gabo, limiting the production of Pangasinan here as we wind down the fourth quarter. And I think it's also, di ba case of cramps yung kay Cuevas?
Sa ganyang itsura, parang cramps or tapilok lang yan eh.
We hope he's gonna be okay, whatever it is.
By the way, Muntinlupa just got taller with Lester Tamayo back in the game. He has 4 fouls, by the way. Hand off to Flores. Alfred has 7 to work with. Gabe Capascio is their leading scorer against Michael Wico. Gabe will fire off to the left. Rebound, Cosejo. Pangasinan is down by 2. Ian Melencio. Down the middle, Melencio escapes. No basket. Recovery. McCoy has the ball. Marcos, one guy to beat, and that's a foul.
That was already the advantage para kay McCoy Marcos. He had one guy to beat, and it was Hesed Gabo. He definitely had the heft advantage, and all he had to do was force contact.
McCoy Marcos being tested at the line. The first free throw is no good. Let's check the free throw shooting. As you get to see that Gucci shirt of Dave Moralde looking very flashy again at the sideline.
Always the hype beast. Ito si Dave Moralde.
14 out of 19 free throw shooting for Muntinlupa. 82-79. 2.5 minutes to go. Pangasinan again down in the clutch. Hesed Gabo, his three-pointer is no good. Rebound McCoy. And we're back with Alfred Flores. Here's McCoy Marcos down the middle. Marcos, no good. Ian Melencio. These last 2 minutes are brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. Basta ending, GameX at Basta Clutch. Ian Melencio with another big-time bucket, 82-81.
As long as you have him on your squad, you have a chance to make big shots down the stretch. Ian Melencio getting a slip screen here from Nat Cosejo. Arenal a little bit too late in trying to close out on that shot. All he needed was a little daylight into Ian Melencio to knock down that shot.
You have a timeout, a minute and 55 to go, 82-81. That's Bong Quinto.
Yeah.
So, kaka-champion lang yan.
Exactly.
Di ba? At ngayon, nasa Philoil Eco Oil Center na siya. Muli, kung saan madalas siya naglaro dito nung kanyang college days. Now it is Pangasinan versus Muntinlupa for the second game of what is turning out to be a blockbuster Friday for the MPBL. Later on, it's San Juan versus Binyan. Tomorrow, it's Pampanga versus Nueva Ecija, the Battle of Champions. Earlier today, we went into overtime. Marikina won versus QC. Now it is a 1-point lead, 82-81 in favor of Muntinlupa, who also have possession. And they're doing this without Jasper Cuevas, who recently injured himself. Oh, that's Jonah Clarito.
Yeah, of the San Juan Knights. It's turning out to be a very star-studded crowd here inside the Philoil Eco Oil Arena. Blockbuster Friday indeed.
Galicia back in the game, defended by Tolentino. He needs a teammate, Flores. 3 to bring it down. They're able to save it. 3 deadlocks, 17 lead changes. Approaching the last 100 seconds. RJ Arenal against Nat Cosejo. 5 on the shot clock. What can they do? Capascio, 2 seconds. Gabe. No escape. Great defense by Michael Wico.
I was gonna say that I love the poise that Arenal brought into that offense. He was not trying to rush and get pressured with the kind of defense that Pangasinan was doing. Unfortunately, when he got it to Gabe Capascio, the shot clock was already down to 5 seconds, and Capascio didn't make a decision right away.
Hesed Gabo on the other end against Alfred Flores. They're down by 1. Bounce pass. Ian Melencio for 2. Yes, sir! One clutch basket after another for Chester Ian Melencio.
And great pass by Hesed Gabo. Still looking to facilitate para sa Pangasinan and not take the big shot. Oh my goodness!
Alfred Flores with that double cross. Given that patent, the double cross in the MPBL belongs to this man, Alfred Flores. Allen Iverson-like, much like his jersey number. Oh, now I remember. That's his idol, Allen Iverson himself.
Look
1 and 2.
Getting Hesed Gabo to go one way and then executing that double crossover. Wow, Alfred Flores embracing the big time.
Seeing the numbers of Alfred Flores, 14 points, almost 5 boards, almost 3 dimes per game. In their last game versus Marikina, he had 8, 5, and 5 as his numbers. He has come alive once more with 13 points and 6 dimes in this matchup. And more importantly, he just gave Muntinlupa the lead back 84-83 with 1 minute to go.
And I'm sure Boss Kaiser Galvez, the team owner of the Muntinlupa Cagers, very happy that he made the acquisition of Alfred Flores midway into this season. Imagine how different this Muntinlupa team has looked with him playing that point guard spot.
Pangasinan down by 1. Michael Wico. He lost the ball. And here's Gabe Capascio. They can slow down. Makoy Marcos has it. Joshua Giab on his last MPBL game. The handoff to Alfred. Flores, a three-pointer, short. Rebound Melencio, and he's fouled. That's free throws already for Ian Melencio.
That is not at all a very bright decision. Both teams have been over the limit for quite some time already here in the fourth quarter. You understand the frustration of Coach Mixon Ramos, the team owner, Kaiser Galvez. Look at that. Not at all a good decision, and that is where the experience playing here in the professional ranks comes in. It doesn't matter the success that you garnered in the collegiate ranks, because now the nerves are different playing against these big guys in the MPBL.
Ian Melencio just missed his first free throw. He's at 50% from the stripe in this game. The second is good. 84 all with 31 seconds remaining. Let me remind everybody that earlier today we already went into overtime. Marikina defeated Quezon City. And our main game is between two title contenders in the MPBL in Binyan versus San Juan. This is your Blockbuster Friday. Michael Wico, the king of the north, has made his debut today with the Pangasinan Heat Waves. In signature fashion, he grabbed a lot of boards, reaching 10, and he also scored 14. But he did commit a turnover just a while ago, and he's going to have to come alive once more as the game is tied at 84.
You know, when Pangasinan was struggling in the first two quarters, Wico came in and was able to spark a rally for the Pangasinan Heat Waves to make it competitive again and restore some order to the side of the Heat Waves.
Okay, let's break things down for the audience. 0 timeouts for Coach Mixon Ramos, 1 left for Coach Gerson Cabiltes. On offense are Makoy Marcos, Jacob Galicia, Gabe Capascio, Joshua Giab, and Alfred Flores. Sideline inbound, 31 seconds to go. We're back with Alfred against Michael Wico. A three-pointer, no good. Rebound Cosejo. No more shot clock. Gabo will slow down. He's teamed up with Michael Wico, Alan Mina, Nat Cosejo, and Vince Tolentino. 10 seconds for Hesed Gabo. This is for glory. Gabo almost lost the ball. 4 seconds. He fires and scores! One second to go. Muntinlupa needs a Hail Mary. Galicia, Flores, the prayer. No good. And Hesed Gabo wins the game for the Pangasinan Heat Waves.
I was talking to Hesed before the game, and he said a lot of people have been talking them down, and he told me one thing: enjoy na nila na nasa baba kami because we will be on top once again.
Well, he did mention ever since winning the title in Season 4, they've had targets on their backs. That's even after Pampanga won the chip. Hesed Gabo, defended by Alfred Flores, just took him onto his own clinic. A three-pointer with 1 second to go, and Pangasinan has one victory down with its new core. But we did mention the magic number is 11 out of the last 14 games for Ian Melencio and company. It's going to be a tall mountain to climb, but it is very much possible for the Heat Waves to reach the playoffs.
Hesed Gabo hit the biggest shot of the game for the Pangasinan Heat Waves, but Melencio kept them within striking distance throughout the last stretch of the fourth quarter. 19 points in the game para kay Ian Melencio, most of them coming in the payoff period, hitting big shot after big shot after Muntinlupa was able to get big shots as well from Gabe Capascio and Makoy Marcos.
This Best Player of the Game is brought to you by Manny Pacquiao's MPBL, and we have our final score brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. Basta ending, GameX. At sinabi nga natin, basta clutch, Ian Melencio. Let's go to Andrea.
First of all, congratulations, Ian. Even though ikaw yung best player of the game, I have to ask this. Yun bang winning shot ni Hesed Gabo, para sa kanya talaga yung play na yun?
Siguro para sa team kasi kailangan talaga namin manalo, so pinapractice namin yon every practice. Siguro pumasok talaga para sa amin.
At matanong ko lang, noong first half, you only scored 2 points. Pero noong nag-second half, doon ka na umariba with 18 big points. Talaga bang kapag crucial moments, doon lumalabas yung galing mo?
Siguro doon lang sinuwerte. Noong una kasi hindi kami makashoot. Siguro nung pag-change court, sa amin na pumabor. So sinuwerte, minalas lang sila, panalo kami.
Nakabawi kayo mula sa previous game ninyo, pero ang question ngayon, paano kayo magiging consistent given na ang susunod nyong makakalaban ay ang ating defending champions?
Yun nga yung pag-aandaan namin kasi need talaga namin makapanalo para kahit paano maka-abante at maka-ano ng playoffs. So mag-practice lang kami siguro.
Alright, that's the spirit. Meron ka bang gustong batiin o pasalamatan?
Unang-una, ipapasalamat ako kay Lord na nanalo kami. Sa wife ko na lagi nakasuporta sa akin, si Jessel Jane. Tatlong anak ko, si Yana, si Chacha, si Chaster, mama at papa ko, Melencio family, Akipel family, Margaret family, Santonil family, kay Mayor Art Celeste, kay Boss FJ, kay Governor Guico, kay Congressman Celeste, sa lahat ng taga Pangasinense, Jump Shoes, EVS, Cap, kay Lolo Ray, tsaka kay Heidi. Maraming salamat sa suporta nyo. God bless.
Alright, thank you so much. Once again, that is Ian Melencio, our best player of the game, brought to you by Manny Pacquiao's MPBL. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Andrea. All right, so it's 1 down for Ian Melencio and company. They move up to 6 wins and 9 losses. Muntinlupa goes down to 5 and 10. We're not yet done with our MPBL Blockbuster Friday. Up next, it's the Season 2 champion San Juan Knights defending their home court against Binyan Tatakjel. We're already seeing a lot of new faces for our teams. Let's break it down later on. Thank you for joining us. For Andrea Indicio and Javi Palanya, my name is Mix Gomez at magbabalik pa po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.